Are you feeling stressed and burnt out and overwhelmed in your current role? Well, if you are, in this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 tips to help you get through that overwhelm and start moving forward with your key projects. But first, hey, I'm Overwhelm from Your Career Mastery. On this channel, I share plenty of career tips and advice and strategies to help you move forward in your career and bring your career to the next level. But in this video, we're talking about what to do if you feel overwhelmed in your current role. And we've all been in positions in our career where we've got a lot on, a lot of key projects and priorities that we're juggling, and that can lead to an incredible sense of stress and overwhelm that makes us feel burnt out and really just not motivated and in the best headspace to move forward with our key projects. So tip number 1 is all about setting priorities. So we absolutely can't do everything in our roles, right? We've only got 24 hours in a day, same as everyone else. We can't do everything, literally. Which is why it's so important that if you've got a lot of tasks and a lot of projects on your plate and you're getting requests in your inbox and via Teams and in meetings to take on more work, you need to be really clear about setting priorities with your work. So that means collaborating with your team, with your key stakeholders, maybe with your line manager as well, to be really clear on what are the key things you should be working on, what are the key priorities, and making sure that those tasks are the ones that get worked on and that everything else gets deprioritized. It's very easy to get caught up in working on things that are priorities for other people, but it's really important for you and for your role that you are really clear about what are the big rocks that you need to be working on that's going to move the needle and also hit your KPIs so that when your review comes around at the end of the year or at the half year, you tick all your goals because you have been working on the key things that were a priority for you and for you alone. Tip number 2 for managing overwhelm is all about setting boundaries and expectations with your key stakeholders. So we all get requests from other teams to help with things, to collaborate, to projects, to present, and that adds to our workload, right, on a weekly basis. But we need to be really clear that if we've got key things that are time sensitive, that we need to be working on, that are key priorities, that we communicate that to external stakeholders. And there's a way to do it in a way that is not confrontational and also not gonna annoy other people, right? And damage relationships with other teams long term. So just be frank and be honest with people and say, hey, look, I would love to take this work on, but currently with my workload and the key priorities that I'm working on, which are this project and this project, I really am not in a position to help, but I know that this person, the team, might be a good place to start. So not only are you saying, look, I can't do this because I've got key priorities, you're being really clear about it and why, but you're also trying to be helpful and point them in the next best direction of someone that can assist. And then tip number 3, which is my last fail-safe, is just trying to find some extra time that you can work on these key projects if you're currently overwhelmed with a lot of priorities at one single time. So for me, what this tends to look like is I like to get up early in the morning and smash out some work on key priorities when there's no one around to distract me in email or via Teams or WhatsApp or social media or any of that sort of stuff. I know that I personally don't like to work late. My brain stops working as well as it could, and after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, my brain goes to mush. I need to be in front of the TV, unwinding, watching Seinfeld or something on Netflix, right? But for other people, working late actually works really well for them. So it depends on what works well for you, but I highly suggest find some time at the start of the day or at the end of the day when you're not going to be distracted to really get some focused time in on your projects and try and get ahead of the day, whether it's preparing for stuff you need to do the next day or just getting ahead on your tasks. I really don't like to work weekends, and I don't recommend that for you. Your weekend is a special time to actually enjoy your life, right? And have memories with your friends and with your family. So as a very last resort, would I ever suggest working on weekends? And for the record, I don't ever suggest working on weekends. It's really important for me and I highly value having work-life balance, right? Having my weekends for me, my evenings for me, and my day during the work week for work. So those are my 3 tips for avoiding overwhelm in your current role. If you've got a lot of key projects, make sure you set priorities, right? You make sure that you're working on the most important things and everything else that's not an immediate priority gets deprioritized and it can wait. Tip number 2 is to set boundaries and expectations with your coworkers, which is not to say you don't want to say yes to every task that comes up. You need to be really clear about saying what is feasible for you, what you can manage, and what you can effectively execute on without damaging all your work. And tip number 3 is about finding some extra quiet time either at the beginning of your day or at the end, depending on what works for you, to get ahead on your key projects and really smash out some work so you can manage that workload more effectively. I'm Overwhelm from Your Career Mastery. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit subscribe. We're trying to help 1 million people transform their careers with this channel. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Also, if you've got any questions, any thoughts, any feedback, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for your time and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.